Welcome, guys, to the Axios Fux podcast. Right now, what time is it? It's 11:36 p.m. July
9:30
7th,
here.
which is a Thursday. It's in 20 minutes. It'll be Friday. We're 4 days late for this podcast because Vasily's been dicking around.
Well, what happened last week? I don't even remember.
You were busy. You were just too busy. You were going out. It was what day was it? Yeah, you were
I wasn't
going out
doing
that
anything
night.
bad, dude. I was just,
You had Greek class and you were going out.
I was putting in the work, dude.
Okay, so I wrote down a couple questions for you because you're about to do your run tomorrow. So first of all, why did you even sign up to do like a 13-mile run? That sounds a little crazy to most people.
So I actually signed up for it February 2nd. February 2nd.
Was it like a quick reaction thing? Was it like?
It was just so far away that I was like, oh, it's like almost at that time I was thinking it's never gonna happen.
I remember you said you were just gonna like not drink for that entire time, and you probably
from then.
Yeah,
which I didn't go crazy, but definitely more than often, more than usual.
I've been
Sorry.
sleeping with Don Julio this whole
For the last 6 months. I've been in bed with Don Julio. Well, I signed up for it. I got into 75 hard. The reality of it, well, why am I doing it now? Like, what's the difference between then and now?
Yeah.
Then I just wanted something to look forward to and work out for. Now it's like it's one of the only things I can control. So there's been so many things going on where things have been made difficult. Not because of me, because of other forces. Things that shouldn't be that difficult are being made difficult. So I'm saying, okay, I'm doing this thing because I'm the only one who has control of if I'm going to do it or not,
Right.
or who's going to finish it or not. So right now, this is me taking back control. That's my mental attitude of I'm taking back control by doing something like this. It's 13.5 miles, 30 obstacle. For the first 9 miles, there's only a couple obstacles. The last 5 miles, they give you like 20 of them because at that point you're exhausted.
Yeah.
It's on a ski. It's like on a very high terrain. We looked at the map today, and it's a lot more than I was expecting. I mean, there's heat and heat concerns. Basically, it's gonna be 105 degrees on Saturday. And to the average person, it probably sounds stupid. Why would you spend money to fly to Utah? Why would you spend money to get hotel rooms? Why would we even do it? It sounds painful. It sounds awful. It's a control thing.
Yeah. No, I get that. You know what's crazy though is the fact that, like, for all these months, right? We pick something, and I think it's a glimpse of our higher self, like almost speaking to us in a way, like, hey, we should do this because we know it's good for us, even though we know it's not going to be fun. And the thing is that imagine if every day was like a new thing like that, when in reality, some people never do that in their entire life. They never do anything that challenges them. They never do anything that, is out of the normal, even though their higher self may be like knocking on their door, like, hey, maybe I should do a Spartan race. Hey, maybe I should do a half marathon. Maybe I should, do all these different things. And those times that we do listen, look where it brings us. It brings us ahead. It brings us farther. Most people have never done a 13-mile race. And it's those glimpses of our higher self, like almost like knocking on the door and being like, hey, listen, enough jerking off. Now it's time to tally up some successes. You know what I mean? Because I know I feel that every now and again. I feel like I got to do something.
It's a simple way of gaining control. It's also propelled me. I've committed to running a marathon this upcoming year.
You got to get sponsors for that, right?
Yeah, I'm going to get sponsors for it. I'm going to sign up. I think signing up starts September, and the race is in April or May. And then from there, I'm going to get myself all the way to the ultra marathons or the ultra races, which is 100+ miles. So this is my goal now. I want to hit 100 mile. I want to start doing the 24-hour race, which is 100 miles, whatever comes first, 100 miles or 24 hours in your time of running. So these are my goals now, because I've realized there's a lot of things you can't control, and this isn't even being a pessimist. It's just a reality. There's going to be things that are going to slow you down. People are going to give you a hard time because they don't like your name, they don't like who you are, they don't like what you stand for, no matter what. So this is one of the only things physical wise that you can decide to do with no other person telling you can't.
Right. Facts. No, that's facts. And so how did you prepare for it? Like, what was, like, if somebody's looking to do something like this, you're kind of, you know, you can kind of trace it backwards. How did you prepare and how would you do it differently?
If I could have done it differently, well, I did another Spartan race before this, and I've done another race in between. But the original Spartan race, I really focused on running, a lot of running, and I didn't work myself as much with weights. This time around, I got my body fat percentage really, really low from heavy lifting. So
We should post up like a before and after that you sent me.
yeah, I should.
Was that from your last race?
Dude, that was April.
Dude, that was crazy transformation.
Yeah, that's April. I was fat, dude. I was a chunk again. I was I was probably like normal, healthy, really healthy person, but for me, it was chunk.
Yeah.
And I look now, and it was the heavy lifting. I haven't missed a gym day or a run day or an exercise day in probably 4 to 5 months. I cut out bread for 6 months, specifically just bread, because I was sticking to a lot of my meals were sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
So I was eating too many sandwiches. I'd find out I'd eat 6 slices of bread every day. It's too many carbs. I didn't cut out anything else. I just didn't eat pastries. I didn't eat bread. I didn't eat anything I knew from the immediate that I can immediately calculate as being bad.
Damn.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
like kind of like a keto diet.
Yeah, pretty straightforward, but it was more just getting up like when my body was sore and still working out. Sometimes doing the unhealthy things. I'm not gonna lie, like probably way too much caffeine. I mean, I've been on a extreme caffeine use for the last 6 months, just to combat soreness and get a workout in. So, but it was the only thing that made me feel good in the last 6 months.
And sometimes, like, if you're getting rid of carbs and stuff, it can feel like the energy from carbs is way different than the energy from energy drink or like caffeine. But, you know, sometimes it's like having those carbs from the bread can help your workout. Like, but it can also slow you down too. Like, I think in a workout, it's good to have those carbs, but like the rest of the day, it like sucks because you feel like a slug. I know every time I have a big carb meal, I want to go to sleep after.
Dude, it's crazy because I was not eating enough carbs or even calories to sustain the amount of activity I was doing. I mean, that's what brought me down to close to under 5% body fat.
Which is like, dude, that's crazy. Like that
close to under 5. I mean, if I was to continue to do it, I could probably break under 5. It wouldn't take much more. But it started to get to the point where like, listen, I need to like post this race, I'm going to start putting on a little bit more weight and just getting strong, continue to get strong and eat more for sure.
Mm-hmm. And then do you have a time goal for this race?
To be honest with you, like I was reading some posts today. I was saying like a really good time would be 2.5 hours. That would be like phenomenal.
Damn, that's a long time.
For that's a really good time. Like that's like a really good time.
Because you're not just running in straight.
No, you're running up hills, dude. You're running up terrain, you're running in the woods.
Even if you were running straight, 10-minute miles let's say 8-minute miles at 13 miles. What is that? I could do it.
That's total of 104 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is an hour and 40.
Yeah. So that's already just an hour and 40 minutes. So that's just straight, no hills, no nothing.
Hills.
In 8 minutes for 13 miles, dude, that's incredible. Like, dude, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Not many people can do it. And I was reading it today.
A 10 minute is tough to do I'm sure.
Very
I
tough.
mean, a 10-minute for 3 miles is pretty tough.
And you're not even playing in factor. It's going to be 105 degrees.
Yep.
And the thing is, I was reading today, some people are saying between 5 and 8 hours.
Damn, dude, that's fucked.
So
That's a shitty day.
that's a really
That
shitty
is a
day.
shitty day.
So I'm going to try to do it as fast as possible before the heat
And
gets
that's if you
really
don't
bad.
twist an ankle or pull a muscle.
And then, yeah, dude, the cramps, like there's no way of avoiding cramps. You're going to get a cramp in your calf. I mean, today at 9 p.m., it's 93 degrees out right now.
Dude, that's messed up.
So it's going to be fucking hot. It's going to be miserable. But like I posted that.
The energy will be insane, though. That's going to be the only thing that drives you.
Yeah, like you go back to primitive times, dude. More of you become more animal.
Yeah.
Then you're human anymore. And it's like I feel like a lot of people have lost that instinct of being animal and just hunting for what they want.
Yep.
No matter what, and getting and just being able to turn on an adrenaline by demand.
Yeah.
No one can really turn it on anymore. Your day-to-day mundane schedule, you will not have adrenaline.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't even have self-determinism to, like, I was thinking today about the fact that, most times, even if, like, let's say it's so different when it's like completely different when you wake up, let's say at 4:30 because because of your own doing and you don't have to, versus if you wake up at 4:30 a.m. because you're going to lose your job and you need that job. Yeah. It's so different. It's so absolutely different because one of them, you are literally doing it out of your own determinism. The other one, you aren't, because you know the consequences behind you not doing it, which aren't your own decision of you. It's not really your choice at that point.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, dude, you got something big going on. I mean, you got something really big going on, and that's going to Colombia. So I had a couple questions for you, kind of just jumping off those questions you asked me.
Yeah.
I mean, what made you decide to go do that? You talked about it all this time. And I was thinking, why would you actually do it?
Yeah. So I think it's kind of like the same thing why you chose to do the race. Like, there's some things that, that when you look back, you're going to want to have checked off your list. You know what I mean? And for me, one of those big ones is living in South America, because it's almost like, and Ben, he told me, he described it as like, he was actually talking about the Philippines, or like the Philippines and that area over there. He was like, it's like the wild, wild west, but in modern day. You can still go access that. And that's kind of how I see South America. I mean, I've never really been. I mean, we've been to a couple places. I've been to Puerto Rico, I think, once on the ship in Mass Maritime. And I think we went to Dominican Republic. So that's down south. But never really from this perspective. And being able to access, like, go into like the wild, wild west, people say that they wish they could go back in time and experience things like that. All you got to do is come and go down in South America, even though a lot of places, I mean, Medellin, where I'm going, it's very modern. Everything is pretty much the same. I mean, there's going to be some differences, but they still have Google Maps. They still have Uber, It's not like they don't have that stuff. There's skyscrapers, there's penthouses, there's things like that. But I think that's what it is. It's like a glimpse of your higher self saying, hey, too much time has gone by without you doing what you had set out to do or become. And too much time's gone, and you haven't been doing that shit that you said you were going to do.
And it's still a little bit anger. Eventually you get to a point where it starts making you angry.
Oh, I think that's the only time that we hear the knock is when when we're pissed off. It's like we're so pissed off with the current situation of how our life is that we're like, dude, what am I even doing? Why am I following this path that wasn't even mine? And I'm the one suffering. You know what I mean?
You're paying the price for someone else.
I'm paying the price because I didn't listen to myself. I didn't decide that, hey, I was going to move to South America because I spent my fucking money this way instead of that way, or because
Yeah.
I didn't do this and I did this instead because it was a temporary quick fix for the struggles in my head. You know what I mean? And I think that's on a daily basis. Everyone faces those demons on a daily basis. Hey, stay in bed. It's 5 a.m. You know why? Because it feels good at the moment. And
At
then
the moment, yeah.
and then it's 8 a.m. and you always, I don't care who it is, they always say, damn, I kind of wish I woke up earlier. But it's an
Yeah, dude, it's
afterthought. It
miserable.
passes us by. And the same shit happens when we're freaking 30 and we're like, damn, I've never ran a fucking half marathon. Oh, damn, I've never been to South America. And there's other people who've been to 30 countries by the time they're 22. They've done marathons by the time they're 22. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, it's that knock, and it hits people at different times. And I find that the people who are so Americanized, they're so freaking, they're like Han Solo in the Frozen thing, that they can't hear their higher self. They're just like so freaking frozen. And that's why I feel like even, going down and into South America, also the people, the mindset's different. I mean, how many times do we see on a daily basis immigrants that come to, here, and they're just following their dreams? They're making shit happen.
Yeah, for some reason it's the people here, dude. It's like it seems like it's just really the people here that are stuck or binded to the day-to-day.
I think it's every country, honestly. I think it's every country is going to have those people, because think about it. Not everyone's trying to get into the US for opportunity.
No.
They say they would, but how many? It's almost like people here. Everyone says they want to, be successful, but who's really doing it? Who's really trying to do it? You know what I mean? We set up, I know we're kind of going past, but we set up the group, the Axios Army, for, and it's just really all it is just, people who want to be better. If you want to be fucking better, dude, you're already like a freaking,
Well, this is the thing, dude. You gotta be around people who are trying to break that matrix. I mean,
that's it. Yeah, exactly.
This is the problem. It's like, I'm thinking about it right now. So I'm laying in the hotel, and I'm thinking about not being here right now, and being told I have to wake up tomorrow and go do something I don't want to do.
That, dude.
It sounds
like they're the enemy.
Yeah, it really sounds like that's what I'm saying.
But here's the thing. Here's why it sounds like they're the enemy. Remember in the Matrix, and this is kind of corny, but like I like the Matrix kind of analogy.
It's the best analogy. Yeah,
it's a great analogy. Remember in the Matrix, the guy says, "Hey Neo," he says, everyone around you is going to try to convince you that what you're doing is wrong, because they're so sold on the Matrix and it's become part of their identity that it's a threat to their own identity. If anything else is true, if anything else is true, it's going to be a hit to them. So they can't risk that. So it's almost like the same thing where, hey, people are telling me to go to work tomorrow, but that's only because they're so sold on it. And if
I've talked about this. I talked about this, and people didn't even, I don't know, maybe people didn't even think about it, or they don't think a little bit deeper. But every single day, people sit in traffic, going to a job they don't like. How much force does this job have to pull people in the same direction every single day, willing to sit in traffic, drinking shitty at-home coffee?
Dude, I hate at-home coffee.
And it sucks. It sucks. Anyone who says it's good is just a cheapo.
You just convinced yourself that it's good.
It's not good. At-home coffee
I don't want to make my own coffee. I think that's what it has to do with. If anyone, like, if anyone but myself makes the coffee, it tastes 10 times better.
It does. To save a couple bucks, to go to a job you don't like, that you're making a wage that barely gets you from month to month, and you're getting a raise every year that's less than inflation, and you still can't afford anything. Dude, this just doesn't, like, if you really think about it, like, that's all I have to say to someone, to be like, listen, whatever you think is real, whatever you think is real, it's fine. You can think it's real, but don't you think it's a problem that even your raise, even when you get a raise, you're making less money? Does that not bother you?
Dude,
Does
that's
that not
crazy.
bug
And
you at
all we
all?
have to do to get a raise is just make another sale.
To make another sale. That's why sales is a great industry. And I think anyone who has a day, 9 to 5 job or salary, I think it's great because it gives you some sort of things,
Yeah,
some things
everyone
we
needs a
don't
job,
have.
you know?
It's some
Everyone
things
needs a
we
job.
can't have, but being okay with it, I think is wrong. Like being okay with, you making less money than the year before just because of the economic scene and just being convinced that's just how the world works. I think that's wrong. And I actually think it's disrespectful to yourself
Yeah, no,
because
I agree.
it's very
You should be more
disrespectful.
valuable every year.
Yeah. They're taking up your time. What is it? If you're getting paid from these people, they're paying for your time. They're
Yeah.
paying for your time. For
Yeah.
us,
You're letting them put a price tag on your time.
yeah, so like you got to make these people pay. I mean, if they're going to take up your valuable time, you don't know if you're going to croak. I mean, Saturday, what if I have a heat stroke, freaking
Yeah.
go get paralyzed? I don't know. Maybe I don't come back. And
What if I get jumped in South America?
Medellin, yeah.
You
What if you
know?
get taken?
Yeah.
It's just like
What
if
if
your
they
time's
cut
gonna,
me up for my liver and sell it for $200?
yeah, seriously.
$200. Do you know how many pesos that is?
It's just
It's a
crazy. I don't
shit
know.
ton of
I
pesos.
think and maybe I can't say that we're right because we don't really have factual. I can't prove I'm right. It's more just uh the intuition or like built-in thought process.
Mhm.
But like there's so many things that are wrong
Yeah.
that like people I think should maybe think a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Um
I think honestly, when people listen to our podcast, they get a glimpse of themselves in a way because like I said, everyone has that higher self that's knocking on the door. It's just a matter of, are you going to stop and listen to it, or are you just going to continue on in this other narrative that somebody else has paved that
Created
path
for
for you?
you. Yeah, they
Yeah,
created for you.
and that's what the Axios Army thing is about as well. It's like everyone has a different path, but it's a matter of, are you listening to your own higher self? And that's why it's so unique, because most groups or most things, they'll be like, hey, you should be this way, you
Yeah.
should be this way. But no,
According to who?
we have no interest in making a path for anyone. We have an interest in people listening to themselves.
Can I ask you a question? So we'll do the last question, and then we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
What is your goal of going down there? Like, what are you trying to do when you get down there? What are you planning to do?
So my goal, honestly, this is not a vacation for me. This is a work trip for me. And how I see it is, I see this as another way of stepping even further out of the matrix in a way. I know like the matrix whole thing, it's a little corny, but it's just a way to explain it. So what I mean by that is, me going to Florida was a way to step away from that as well. And the reason being is because I was able to make sales in Massachusetts, but I was living at home. I was not making as much as I wanted to. I didn't feel free. And I also hadn't really started a business on my own, because my past business was with Manual. So I felt like, okay, this will kind of give me some more freedom. So I did that in Florida. Now I know I could do it in any state. Florida happens to be the best state in the US, and I just feel that way. But now, can I step out of the country and do it? That's another level of stepping out of the matrix, because think about it. Now I don't have the US government that is trying to control me. I don't have US taxes. I'm now a foreigner in a different country where the laws are different. I'm literally like, if a US citizen like gets in trouble in another state, it's almost not even their right to like, I mean, there are different guidelines for a US citizen getting in trouble in a different place
Mhm.
than there are for their own people. It's almost like your parent can spank you, but another parent can't in some
Correct.
instances. So like, that's another step of like, okay, I still can go to the US, but now I live in South America. Can I make deals? Can I make the same amount of money in the US or in South America that I'm making in the US? That's a totally different thing. In Massachusetts, I wasn't making as much money as I am now. Now, if I can make the same amount that I'm making now in a country where the average wage is 13,000 a year. Now what's my life look like?
Yeah, it's dope.
That's the thing. I mean, it's 10 times, because the average wage in the US is 50,000. The average wage in South America, in Colombia, is 13,000. You're living like a king on 50,000. Now quadruple that. Now what are you living like in Colombia? You know what I
150,
mean?
yeah, 150.
What's your
yeah,
life
yeah.
looking like? So that
15
kind of tells me
times.
different.
15 times the average wage if you make 150. About
Yeah.
15 times.
Yeah.
14
And
times. Yeah.
you have absolute like freedom, because if you can do it outside of the country in Colombia, can you do it in Europe? Can you do it in all? And EXP happens to be in Colombia.
Yeah. I love
So
that.
that's all I got.
Okay, dude. Well, let's wrap this thing up. I think that was good. And we'll talk tomorrow before you go for sure. And hopefully everything's prepared for you to get out of here.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I have a couple more probably hours of stuff that I'm just gonna wrap up, but that's about it.
Yeah, you got to get that COVID test, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna schedule that.
I don't know if they're gonna actually request you to have one. You should just look it up.
I
But you
don't
should
think
still
so
you
either.
should still
But
try.
I called them. They said it's up to them if they want to or not. I'm
Yeah,
like,
thanks for the uncertainty.
yeah.
Thanks for
He
the
was like,
uncertainty.
yeah, it's up to their discretion. I was like, what? That is such a shitty answer. Like,
Like
dude,
your
so you're
answer to
telling
say,
me
I don't know.
there. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna have my bags, and I'm gonna be like, hey, how are you feeling today? Are you gonna ask me today? Like, you fucking asshole.
Yeah. What an asshole. If he just said, I don't know,
First of
that
all,
would have
my
been a better
fucking
answer.
booking details are in Spanish.
Yeah, are they?
Yeah. This is Copa Airlines, the most bootleg thing I've ever heard. $138 ticket down to
Dude,
Colombia.
it's gonna be a freaking
They're literally
it's gonna be
taking
what
a
it,
tin can down there.
that's what it sounds like.
No, apparently they're part of United, but I don't know.
Dude, it's probably their what are they called? Coyotes, one of the Coyote planes.
This is
They
their
just bring people back and
1950s
forth.
plane.
Oh shoot. Okay, dude.
Okay, dude.
You want to get this uploaded? Can you get this uploaded on YouTube?
I'll get on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wouldn't know. I'll call you and we'll get it on Anchor.
Okay, cool.
Okay, peace out.
Okay, peace out, dude.